In the closing stages of the Monaco Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton asked a simple question over team radio: "Are you upset with me or something?" What he received in return was deafening silence. No reply, no explanation, just cold, strategic muteness. This wasn't a rookie engineer panicking under pressure. This was Riccardo Adami, Ferrari's seasoned race engineer, deliberately choosing not to respond. Team boss Fred Vasseur later offered a textbook excuse: "We don't speak to the driver between turn 1 and the tunnel." But here's the problem. This silence came after the race. When the cooldown should have brought clarity, it only deepened the tension. This isn't the first fracture in their relationship. Since the start of the season, radio exchanges between Hamilton and Adami have grown increasingly tense. In Miami, Lewis snapped back sarcastically about a tea break over team comms. In other races, he's been met with confusion or vague instructions. The question is no longer what happened, but why is Ferrari covering for Adami? While the team pushes the narrative of calm, the radio tells a different story: frustration, miscommunication, and a driver left in the dark. In Formula One, communication is not a luxury. It's survival, and what we're witnessing between Lewis Hamilton and Riccardo Adami is not a learning curve, it's a breakdown. Take Monaco. Hamilton, running P5, asked a crucial question: are they still ahead by a minute? A strategist's dream, a clear opportunity to provide data. Adami's response: they're just fighting. Vague, useless. Hamilton, sharper than ever, fired back: "You're not answering the question." Only then did Adami mutter, 48 seconds. By then, it was too late. Hamilton had already pushed his tires harder than necessary, chasing a ghost. He later admitted, "I didn't even know what I was fighting for." That's not just a missed call, that's strategy sabotage. Whether intentional or not, Ferrari allowed their lead driver to burn rubber on misinformation, and instead of addressing it, they buried it. No internal review, no public acknowledgement. When communication breaks at this level, it's not a misunderstanding, it's systemic failure, and when Ferrari refuses to confront it, the suspicion grows. Adami's errors aren't isolated, they're being protected. When a driver is left without answers mid-race, the natural expectation is accountability. But in Ferrari's case, team principal Fred Vasseur has chosen a different path: defense at all costs. After Monaco, Vasseur downplayed the incident. He asked between turn 1 and 3, "We wait until the tunnel to reply." Let's be honest, that may explain a delay of a few seconds, but not the chilling silence after the race when Hamilton asked, "Are you upset with me or something?" and was met with nothing. Vasseur claims there's no tension, that Hamilton wasn't upset. But what does silence say when words fail? Here's the real issue. This isn't the first time Adami has failed to deliver under pressure, yet Ferrari treats it as a non-issue. Why? Is it pride, loyalty, or fear of admitting they paired their biggest acquisition in a decade, a 7-time world champion, with the wrong voice in his ear? Instead of addressing the cracks, Ferrari keeps painting over them. But silence isn't strategy, it's a symptom. And right now, Adami's silence is costing Hamilton more than just clarity. It's costing him races. For over a decade, Lewis Hamilton and Peter Bonington operated like two sides of the same brain. Calm, precise, tactical. Bono knew how to speak to a champion. But now, Hamilton finds himself in a new cockpit with a new voice. Riccardo Adami, and the contrast couldn't be starker. In Monaco, when Adami told Hamilton, "This is our race," it wasn't motivation, it was confusion. Hamilton later admitted, "I didn't know what I was fighting for." That statement isn't just emotional, it's damning. A driver blind to his race strategy is flying without instruments, and in a place like Monaco, where precision is everything, that disconnect is fatal. With Bonington, Hamilton never had to second guess. The communication was coded yet clear. With Adami, it's chaotic and late. It's not about nostalgia, it's about performance. Ferrari brought in a legend, but instead of giving him the tools to fight, they gave him uncertainty in his ear. If Ferrari truly wants to win with Hamilton, they need to realize strategy doesn't start with the car. It starts with the voice behind the steering wheel. And right now, that voice is failing. After Monaco, Lewis Hamilton trails Oscar Piastri by 63 points in the Drivers' Championship, 1/3 of the season gone, and already the gap feels like a canyon. This isn't about a slow car or poor qualifying, it's about missed opportunities, strategy misfires, communication breakdowns. In Monaco, Hamilton was handed a 3-place grid penalty for impeding Verstappen, a mistake that could have been prevented with sharper guidance from the pit wall, and during the race, it got worse. Misinformation about gaps, vague instructions, delayed responses, all of it led to wasted tire life and a race strategy based on fiction, not fact. In a season where every 10th matters, these aren't small errors, they're championship killers, and they're piling up. What's more alarming, Ferrari doesn't seem to be learning. No major changes, no reassessment of Adami's role, just silence. Again, Hamilton isn't just battling Piastri or Verstappen, he's fighting a ghost within his own team, a voice that's supposed to guide him but keeps leading him astray. If Ferrari truly wants to win, it's time to stop managing optics and start managing performance. It's no longer just a paddock whisper. The tension between Hamilton and Adami is being called out loud and clear. Fans aren't blind. Race after race, they hear the confusion in Hamilton's voice, the hesitations from Adami, the missed strategy windows. Social media is filled with clips, threads, and outrage. Why is Ferrari doing this to Lewis? And the media? No different. Analysts, former drivers, and insiders have started connecting the dots. The partnership isn't working. And worse, Ferrari seems stubbornly unwilling to act. The contrast with Hamilton's years at Mercedes is unavoidable. Back then, communication was a weapon. Now, it's a liability. By refusing to address the issue, Ferrari isn't just protecting Adami, they're risking their credibility with fans who demand results, not excuses. Every delayed radio call, every missed cue, every vague instruction adds fuel to the fire. The question hanging over Maranello is no longer whether there's a problem, it's why they keep pretending there isn't. When Lewis Hamilton signed with Ferrari, it wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. A 7-time world champion joining F1's most iconic team to chase an 8th title. But right now, that dream is drifting. Not because of pace, not because of age, but because of a fractured connection where it matters most. The radio. Hamilton thrives on clarity, on rhythm, on synergy with the voice in his ear. With Riccardo Adami, he's getting the opposite. Hesitation, confusion, and silence when it matters most. This isn't a chemistry issue, it's a performance roadblock. Every race with poor communication chips away at confidence. And for a driver like Hamilton, confidence is currency. If Ferrari is serious about this era, about finally bringing a title back to Maranello, they must ask themselves, is Adami the right engineer for Lewis Hamilton? Because loyalty to the wrong voice could cost them everything, and time is a luxury this project doesn't have. The silence in Monaco wasn't just a moment, it was a message. And the message was clear, Ferrari is more willing to protect its system than to protect its champion. Lewis Hamilton didn't ask for privilege, he asked for clarity, for partnership, for the tools to win. What he got instead was miscommunication, deflection, and a wall of silence from both engineer and team. Fred Vasseur can keep insisting there's no tension, but when a driver with Hamilton's pedigree ends a race asking, "Are you upset with me?" That's not strategy, that's isolation. Ferrari now stands at a crossroads. They can continue shielding Adami, brushing off each failure as a procedural glitch, or they can face reality, make the hard call, and give Hamilton the support structure a title run demands. Because right now, the only thing more deafening than the silence on the radio is the silence from the team that claims to want to win. So, what will it be, Ferrari? Back your champion? Or keep pretending everything's fine while the championship slips away?